I want everybody to take a quick video look at this picture right here, okay? This is La Nativa, which is the native. I have worked with her. She is an influencer from the southeastern part of Colombia, from in the Andean Amazonian region, and she has 1 million followers. What's up, everyone, and thank you for coming back to my channel. This is Ray Condor coming to you once again. I have created a YouTube channel because I am a Colombian, for the people who want to travel to Colombia, who want to know about the culture, the people, the way how we think, and sometimes I will talk about subjects that have to do with Colombia. So today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be making a review video. A YouTuber who traveled to Colombia, but he came across in his social media a Colombian woman complaining about passport brothers who traveled to Colombia, and he has made his responses. I made my responses as well because I want people to understand what the Colombian mindset is like versus someone who is non-Colombian.
She calls them sex tourists.
So I'm from Colombia. If you're a Colombian girl, you have 3-4 American guys approaching you, offering you money, and pulling out their passport, literally, and then telling you, I'm American, I'm actually looking for a girl, I'll bring you here, but it's just odd. Why you wanna get with a girl that doesn't speak your language, and that makes up to $200 a month? It's just odd. I don't wanna point fingers, but it's like, why are you looking for that when you can get a girl? Why can you not get in America? Why you cannot get a girl?
Very correct. A lot of us do think that, and just to let you know, the common Colombian makes about 35,000 Colombian pesos a day. With the current inflation right now in 2025 in May, I would say it's about roughly about $8.50 a day that a person makes in Colombia.
Now let's read what this Colombiana, specifically this girl from Cartagena, said.
Goody, I just got out of a 5-year relationship with a girl from Cartagena. Colombians from the interior like to say costeña. Costeña or costeño is a person from the coast, meaning 2 coasts, but one Pacific and one Caribbean. But when a person says costeño, it's usually somebody from the Caribbean side.
She didn't specifically say passport bros or guys with passports, but let's be honest, we know who she's referring to. She calls them sex tourists. Let's read through it and see what she's talking about here. Let's talk about sex tourism in Colombia and the men behind it. Oh, as if it's only men behind sex tourism and it's not actually legal in Colombia. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it is, isn't it? Yes, it is legal.
This, my friends, is known as a debate trick or a debate tactic called a straw man fallacy. Basically, you just take someone else's argument and you're misrepresented in a way that they never talked about in order to defeat that argument. For example, let's say I don't like people eating apples on my front lawn, and then somebody say, oh, so you're against meat eaters, huh? And this is what he's doing. Because most Colombians, in fact, every Colombian knows that it is legal. In fact, it is a protected form of work by the Constitution of the Republic of Colombia. And a lot of people are trying to actually fight for reform so the street workers have more respect, so they get more protections in their work. Specifically by feminists, believe it or not.
She says Cartagena is a city powered by real people doing real work. Yes, the average Colombian earns between $12 and $18 USD a day, about $1.50 to $2.25 an hour, for long hours in kitchens, construction sites, markets, buses, cleaning homes, and grinding every day to survive with dignity. That's true, I'll give her that. I've seen a lot of Colombians who work really hard. They work 6 days a week, usually have Sundays off, if that, and they'll have a side hustle, and they work them long hours, man. That's why when you talk to a regular girl, it's hard to see her because she's usually busy working and or in school. Then she said, then a foreigner steps off the plane, maybe you, and casually drops 100 USD or more for an hour with a woman, which is more than a full week's wage for many hardworking locals. Is this true? That's not just an economic disparity. That's a reality distortion. Absolutely. Have you heard of inflation? We're experiencing it, and they're experiencing it in another way, right? And it's shaping this city in ways that many people don't understand or worse, don't care about. I agree with her. But let's be honest, who are the men behind this behavior? Again, the men behind this behavior. Women are participating in it. As a matter of fact, especially in Cartagena, her city, the women are extremely aggressive. Have you been to El Centro? Have you been to Playa Hollywood?
Yes, I have been to Cartagena, and no, they are not as aggressive as you say that they are. It's because I don't hang around those places. I have been in the four quadrants, the four corners, I should say, of Cartagena. I have even been outside of the outskirts of Cartagena, in the small cities. I have been in Turbaco. I've been close to Arjona before. Inside of Cartagena, I have been in, for example, I've been in Daniela Maitre. I have been Los Caracoles, Los Cuatro Vientos, which is the Four Winds, El Barrio Anita, Los Alpines. Let me see, further up north, I've been in Marbella. I've even been to the city in the northeast, which is just outside of the city, which is a mini city created by the rich people of Cartagena who want to get away from all the issues of Cartagena. They create themselves like a mini city, and they have their own mini university. And I would like to let you know that a lot of the girls in Cartagena, no, they don't want to go to El Centro, which is the center. They don't go to the walled city. I specifically have friends that refuse to go by any area where the tourist goes to because they don't want to be propositioned. They do not want to be treated like a whore. I know many people that rather eat dirt, and I know a lot of professionals who don't offer themselves like that. My friend's sister, who is one of them, okay, she is a labor and delivery nurse, and not only is she a labor and delivery nurse, on the weekends she was traveling all the way to Barranquilla, which I believe is an hour and a half away by bus. She was studying to further her studies, and she became a teaching nurse.
They're not high value. They're not evolved. They're not impressive. And truthfully, the women are well aware and in general have no respect for these men who come here for the sex trade. But yet the women still participate. She keeps conveniently living out accountability on the women's part.
Because these women are starving. These are the women who are starving. The children are starving. They're in Cartagena, just so you know, it is not one of the most prosperous areas in terms of industry and everything else. It really relies on tourism. So a lot of these women come from the lowest class neighborhoods. And are they going to let their children go hungry every night? Are they going to let their baby who's crying, "Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I can't. My stomach hurts. Mommy, I'm getting sick. Mommy," and then you don't have anything to rely on? Of course, these are women who are forced to do this. They're not doing this because they want to participate for the fun of it. It's not like in Miami or New York City where the passport bros go, "Oh, these women, they want a guy who's 6 foot tall and has three-figure income and has a Ferrari and everything else." No. This is a totally different ballgame. These women are forced to, because if not, it's life and death. And some of these women, they have like 2 children. So yeah, it is true. And just so you know, it is a common known fact for the Colombian, a lot of these passport bros. Now, I'm not talking about tourists in general. I'm talking about passport bros. A lot of them have bad hygiene. I even made a video about hygiene a while ago. You know, where this guy was comparing who lives in Medellin, talking to his girlfriend, and things that he doesn't get about Colombian society. Bro, we take about 3 showers a day. And if you're on the coast, either Pacific or in the Caribbean, which is muggy and steamy and sticky, yeah, you take showers like 6 times a day. So yeah, like it is a common fact. I can't tell you how many times that I have met people who either work in El Centro, because I have friends that work in the tourism industry. They tell me, "Yeah, man, I can't tell you, this guy, he came from the outside or across the pond. He had the worst breath, and he looked like he didn't shave, and he looked like he didn't comb his hair, and he just smelled and rank and stuff like that, and his breath was absolutely horrendous." It happens. I mean, this is what we're talking about. A lot of Colombians are actually saying this.
We're finessing a lot of guys.
For you to say that people are finessing in the town center, that's the low-hanging fruit. Those are the poorest of the poor. People get finessed everywhere. In Miami, somebody got finessed like 2 weeks ago. It was a white guy, and I think the girl was East European. She took him to some place in Brickell, which is like the nicest area with a lot of people with a lot of money. She ended up drugging the guy. She ended up stealing about like a $30,000 Rolex watch or something like that. So yeah, it happens. People get finessed, but you can't blame Colombians. Like,
they are emotionally stunted, socially awkward, physically unfit, and financially unstable. Man, she got a personal axe to grind with somebody. It may sound like she may have been through something personal, but I don't know. They're not showing up as strong men, they're showing up as shortcuts. Most of these guys haven't invested in their health, haven't built financial stability, haven't done emotional work, haven't healed from trauma, haven't sharpened their minds, and haven't even attempted to learn the language of the country they claim to love. I think that does apply to a certain group of guys.
Yeah, like the infamous Korean, Mr. J.
They come down here to not connect, but to compensate. They talk about finding true love and real connection while not being able to hold a basic conversation in Spanish. They expect affection, loyalty, and depth from women they literally can't speak to. It's always funny. I've been to Colombia, 10 times in the last 2 years, a total of maybe 8 or 9 months, which is a lot more than a lot of you guys who are weekend warriors. And it's funny when I see guys with the translators. You see at the restaurant with a translator talking back and forth with the girl. It's so awkward and kind of weird. Yes, I did it maybe my first 3 times in Colombia, but I learned the language fairly quickly because I took it seriously. Then she says, you want real connection? Then become a real man. When you hear a woman says real man, there's usually some type of shaming language. One who invests in his mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual self-belief. Because what you are, you attract. Not so much. It's like what you are, you would entertain. What you are, you entertain. What you project is what you will pull in. If you're unhealed, lazy, lost, broken, insecure, and emotionally unavailable, then yes, you may attract someone, but it won't be the love. It'll be a reflection of your dysfunction wrapped in beauty, hardship, and survival instincts. Now she's talking about the low-hanging fruit, right? She's talking about a lot of the women there who finesse you guys and raise up their prices.
Like you said, these women who are supposedly finessing these guys are actually women from the lowest class neighborhoods, lowest income neighborhoods, as you say, or lowest strata. And also, I would like to point out that, yeah, he's right. A lot of people have that savior complex where they can come there and they can do whatever you want. Like, look at his comment right here. Look at his comment. That says everything.
And wash, rinse, repeat. That's not a relationship. That's a transaction. And what's worse, these men show up with their savior complex, thinking their foreign passport and a few $100 and a dinner is some kind of ticket to being adored. But back home, they're invisible, undesirable, undisciplined, and deep down they know it. That doesn't apply to every man. That's another stereotypical trope that a lot of these Colombian girls are parading around. And I don't know where they're hearing this. I think they might be hearing it from American women or from YouTube. I don't know.
There's Colombian women, but men, women, and children. Bro, we all know. We all know because we see you. We see you. Okay? Yes, it's not true that all of the men that go to Colombia are like that. But the ones that are not like that, those are the ones who really want to travel, who really travel to other cultures and know everything. For example, I have friends that work in the tourism sector, and we see these, they tell me the stories, they see these things every single day. All the different scandals, all the goofy nonsense that you guys, that not you, I don't know about you, but you know, if you're a passport bro, but for all the passport bros, goofy nonsense that you guys go through. Best example is this. I have a friend of mine who's an Uber driver, right? He picked up 3 people. Let me make sure this is okay. He picked up 3 people, right? 3 guys who are obvious passport bros who picked up women, 3 different women who are offering services, right? And so one of them, a proposition to one of the guys, and the guys didn't have enough money. Do you know how much money the guy had in his pocket? He had a good $30 in his pocket. And you know what he started doing? He took him to an ATM. ATM wasn't working. Took him to another ATM. ATM wasn't working. He asked his friends inside the car, say, hey man, I don't got enough money. Can you spot me some and I'll pay you back? They started clowning him in front of the other girls. And the girl got upset and all of them left. And they said, we don't want to go through this. Take us back to where we found you. And that's it. And they got out of the car and that's it. That guy had nothing but $30 to his pocket. And he was about to leave to Colombia to the United States the next day. He only went there for a couple of days. A weekend trip. Another example, I have a friend of mine that works in the walled city. Basically, he tells me every day, that every night, these guys run to him every day. Man, where's the ATM? Where's the ATM? I need help. Blah, blah, blah. This girl said this, or I need this, I need that. And I can't tell you how many times he tells me, man, these guys have no money. They got no money. These guys, I seen their wallets. They have nothing but like 10 credit cards. How do these people do it in the United States? And I say, hey, man, I told you. Because the thing is that the veil of the North American foreigner or the European with a lot of money is gone. These guys, passport bros who travel to other countries looking for women because they have less economic power than you do, that's fading away. I want everybody to take a quick video look at this picture right here, okay? This is La Nativa, which is the native. I have worked with her. She is an influencer from the southeastern part of Colombia, from in the Andean Amazonian region. And she has 1 million followers. And she has gone into the Amazonian region in Ecuador. And her friends and the different tribes that are in the Ecuadorian region and also in the Colombian border, they have TikToks and they have millions of followers. Not all of them, but some of them do. The age of the passport bro is over, guys. This was over 2 years ago when you guys started acting goofy. We know this in Colombia. We know this in Costa Rica and Brazil. We know this in Panama, even in Eastern Europe, Lithuania, Poland, and everything else. Everybody knows what you guys are up to. And we know that you're complaining, oh, women don't like me in the United States because they got money and they can choose whoever they want. Well, how about you better yourself and change, become the person that you want to be?
Because a lot of them don't even know anything about American culture like that. they don't know. To a degree, yes, from YouTube, but
I do live in North America and I completely understand. And second of all, I would like to remind you that all Colombians are Americans. Okay, the original name for America was actually South America, the area where Brazil is at. And second of all, as a person who lives here, I completely understand what you're talking about. The complaints that passport bros make. Oh, this girl thinks she's too much, and that she's too worth a guy with 6 income figures. That you gotta be 6 foot tall, and then you gotta have the latest car, and you gotta have the biggest house, and you gotta have, I don't know, a 401k and everything else. I understand that, but the thing is that you need to know how to discern to find the right woman for you. How many times have these guys who are passport bros fly down to Colombia only to hang out the central area, on El Poblado, where all the street workers hang out, with the women that have super surgeries and everything else? We call them narco Barbies. Okay, how come you don't see these guys? They go to universities. How come you don't find the women of high class and value? Like I said in one of my videos, I got cousins of mine who are anthropologists, who are sociologists. Some of them are feminists. Some are, photographers and everything else, and professionals in the medical field and other things, especially in politics. Do you see any of the passport bros going for that? No. So you talk about how it has been damaged here for you, but you think you can fly all the way down to South America, find yourself a woman that has double D cups and a Brazilian butt lift, and then automatically you're going to be king of the world and you'll be Mr. Value Man? No, it doesn't work like that. Those women are narco Barbies, and they do that to attract a specific type of clientele. If you do not have a commonality in culture, if you don't have a commonality in decency, you cannot hold a actual relationship with those type of women. Like you said many times before, that you have been to Colombia like 8 to 10 times. I can guarantee you've only been to Medellin, Bogotá, and Cartagena, possibly Barranquilla. Have you been to Villavicencio? Have you been to Pradera? Have you been to Ginebra? Have you been to Mocoa? Have you been to Popayan? Have you been to Tumaco? Have you been to Quibdó? Have you been to Chocó? Because guys keep on going, oh, I keep on going to Medellin, I keep going like that. Why don't you guys go to Circassia? Why don't you go to Finlandia? Go to the smaller towns, because you don't want to go there. You guys keep being attracted to the women who sell themselves on the street, and then you want to sit here and you want to claim that you deserve a woman of value.
But so they come here not because they're strong, but because they're weak. They want to feel like men without ever becoming one. Let's talk about the wake effect. You drive up the cost of living for the very people you're exploiting. You reduce women's identities to services. Again, the women are participating in it, and many times aggressively seeking that you participate in those services.
Once again, these women who are participating in it, they're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it because they have no choice. They have a son that's sick. They have a daughter that's sick. They have a mother that has cancer. And these are women that live in impoverished areas. The women of Cartagena that have good money, they stay away from you guys. Just so you know. I know lots of people that refuse to go to the town center. All right? So every time for these passport bro, I got this chick back home. I got this chick back home. Homeboy, you're a bank to the whole family. You're feeding the daughter. You're feeding the nephew. You're feeding the son. You're feeding the dog. Sometimes you're feeding the girl's boyfriend. Because sometimes some of those boyfriends will send the women to work for them. Like the Venezuelans, they're famous for that, right? So what are you doing? You're becoming an investment to somebody else. But they say, oh, they're contributing to it also. No. You're coming down to a different country because you have more economic power, ruining the local economy, ruining the local culture, and basically causing up a stir. And then you're wondering why people are not happy with you. Cartagena is literally become a second choice now. A lot of Colombians don't even travel to Cartagena anymore. My cousin went there. He'd been there a few times, and because of the scene caused by certain tourists, he refuses to go there. There's another secret spot that they go to that you guys don't go to. And I have friends that work in that other secret spot, and they tell me, oh man, I'm glad that we get the right type of tourists here. The ones that want to know culture, not the ones that cause up a scene and cause up a problem, not the one that causes problems. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. The few have ruined it for everybody else. And for you to sit here to defend that, come on. That's 99% on you. Are there women who participate in it? Yeah, there's even women who travel to Colombia for that. But the ones who are participating, supposedly, they're not doing it because they want to. It's not fun for them. I don't know what you think is fun, but it's not fun for them.
You pollute the culture with empty masculinity and fake power. Again, the men in Colombia are already machismos, which the Colombian women complain about all the time.
Those who aren't familiar, the word machista it basically means sexist. I know that old trick. Oh, North Americans are different. You guys are kinder. You're more romantic. You're more like this and this and this and that. Okay, so if the men are so sexist, then why is it that this particular person, Mr. John Polos, why did he erase his girlfriend? Why? I'll tell you why. Because he was using his passport bro money from his ex-wife, from his son's cancer fund, and he was giving this lifestyle to Mr. Palacios, the DJ. And you know what she was doing while he was gone? She was taking his money and going out with a local Colombian. That's the reason why he took her to a hotel. No, I'm sorry, to an Airbnb, and he deleted her. You know why? Because if the Colombian guys were so machista, if they were so machismo, then why is it that she chose to be with a local? There's truth, a little bit of truth to everything. Yes, Spanish culture is more sexist, but at the same time, we're a little bit more progressive than you guys.
Again, the men in Colombia are already machismo. I've seen men in Colombia punch Colombian women right in the face, and they don't do nothing.
So you're talking about that one male pastor who was diddling his wife's daughter that's not from his marriage, and then she ran off, and then the local people caught him, and literally the entire town of, like, I don't know, 100 people came out and beat the living daylights out of him. Literally almost. We have something called the community massage or paloterapia, which means stick therapy. No, there's a lot of guys who will not stand for that. And there have been many times where if a man hit a woman, the entire town or the entire street came up and beat the guy, especially if it became deadly or it became close to deadly. Yes, there are times where people have done nothing, but trust me, many people will not stand for that, especially not me. I guarantee you, especially not me, because I do not allow that.
Give me a break. You distort what love and relationships are supposed to mean. You leave behind broken illusions, disrespect communities, inflated egos, pretending they found something real. But here's the harsh truth. If you had your life together, you wouldn't be here paying for it. If you were emotionally whole, physically capable, financially secure, and spiritually grounded, you would attract connection without needing a plane ticket or pesos. That's not necessarily true. I get what she's saying. Of course, self-development is pivotal. But she doesn't understand the environment in America. I know she doesn't from the way she's talking, especially in the dating scene. You don't need a passport. Wrong. Yes, you do need a passport. Yes, you need purpose. You don't need sex. Wrong again. Men need sex. You need self-respect. You need that too. Right? So she's back and forth. You don't need a girlfriend from a foreign land. Why not? What if I'm an immigrant that was born in another country, but I was raised in America? Does that make me an anomaly? You need to become a man that any woman anywhere would actually choose. Again, she doesn't understand the delusional requirements on men in America. She doesn't get it, fellas.
Oh, I really don't understand either. I live in the United States, and I don't have that big of an issue. Neither does any of my cousins, my brothers, anybody. We don't really have much of an issue, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. What type of women are you going for? You know, you have to understand that everybody has a right to have their standards, and if you don't fit someone's standards, you just move on, and that's it.
So you come down here chasing a fantasy. Ask yourself, why haven't I done the work on my body, mind, spirit? Why do I expect someone to take me seriously when I don't even take myself seriously? Why am I seeking connection when I'm not capable of creating it? Why do I think I deserve love when I can't even communicate, do the work, learn the language, fix your finances, develop discipline, become someone of value before expecting someone to value you? Because what you're doing here isn't impressive, it's predatory. Of course, that's that feminist language, right? It's predatory. I would say that a lot of the guys are the ones being preyed upon. These dudes are getting finessed. I can't tell you how many stories I personally know about and have heard about of guys falling in love with these girls that are working.
So basically, right now, there are about 53 million people in Colombia. I don't know if that includes Venezuelans and other foreign nationals, but that's just how much it is. I was looking at the statistics, and about in 2019, 244,000 of those people were about adult service workers, and about 10 to 54% of those people are men. So you're telling me that that tiny percentage, which is like less than 1% of the entire population, is I got family members coming by. If you tell me that less than 1% of the entire population of people are finessing you guys, I can guarantee you that if you had money, that if you guys had money, that some of you guys would be getting finessed too. In fact, there was a guy that got finessed in Miami not too long ago. It happens. It is an actual thing. I don't understand what's the issue is here. So you go, oh man, you guys are finessing us. Well, stop going after easy women that work on the streets. My man, I just got out of a relationship with a Cartagenera, a woman from Cartagena. We've been together for 5 years, almost got married. Before her, I was with a relationship I've been in a relationship here in the United States, but let's talk about the ones that I had from Colombia, long distance relationship. I had a relationship with a woman from Pereira who was older than me. She was an optometrist. I also had a relationship with a girl from my own hometown when it was an orthodontist. I haven't had these problems that you guys have had. That I've been used for money, that I've been drugged, and that I was left with all this type of things. No relationship is 100% perfect, right? And I can't say that it has been the easiest for me, but at the same time, come on, bro, like, what is going on? Like, what are you guys doing? It's not that serious. It's not that serious, and I haven't been going through half of these issues you guys have. I haven't had any money stolen from me. I haven't had been drugged. I haven't had any issues where like I woke up the next day, my stuff was stolen. To this day, with the women that I have broken up, I'm friends with them and still friends with their family. This is how you know you're with a good Colombian family. You know why? Because after you break up with them, many times you will still stay good friends with them and their family. I can call up my ex right now, she'll answer. I can call up her mom right now, she'll answer. I can call up her brother and then she'll answer. I can call up the father. I can call up the cousin and they will answer me and they treat me as one of their own. This is how I know you guys are not dating women of value. Come on, quit complaining. Stop dating women that work the streets.
These guys take this stuff seriously, and the girls are finessing them. It's not manhood, it's masquerade. It's not love, it's illusion. So stay home until you built yourself up. Don't show up to a place like Colombia half-formed, hoping someone whole to complete you. And the people here deserve better. So why don't you give them better? They're your people.
Yes, we have made it better. I'm not sure if you know this, but Colombia has the longest civil war on this side of the planet. Yes, my friends, we have a civil war in Colombia. And in fact, the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, who are Marxist guerrilla forces, actually signed a peace treaty, I believe back in 2016, with the Colombian government, where they gave up their arms in terms for peace. And not only this, but this peace made it so safe that passport brothers like you can come to Colombia. Clearly shows that he's uneducated in how Colombians think and feel, even though he's been there about 2 years. We don't care about prostitution, whether you do it or not. We don't care. We don't care. What we care about is people who act disrespectful. You know, if somebody does it, it's none of my business. That's the Colombian thinking. Just don't do it in front of little kids. Don't do it in front of families. Don't do it in front of schools. Don't do it in front of churches. And how many times have I seen a nun walking around and down the street as a passport bro with some women with their breasts hanging out and stuff like that?
You know, in the United States, for whatever reason, there are ignorant individuals that believe because somebody's from another country or has an accent, they're not intelligent. And passport bros are learning firsthand how the game really works. Because you're an incel in the United States, not make you the man overseas. I get it, the passport bros think women in the United States are entitled, but Americans are bullies. Just look at y'all comments on social media. I just want to give a word of advice. You're not going to go to another country and bully somebody into marriage. Their laws are not our laws. You're going to end up on the street. Never mind. This is what happens when passport bros go to another country and think they could pull incel behavior in another country. And they are quickly humbled or leaving trail of baby mamas and diseases international.
It's your government. Why don't you protest for them to change or amend their constitution to make prostitution illegal?
They have protested to amend the constitution. Do you know why prostitution is legal in Colombia? Because the Liberal Party actually protested and they actually made changes to make it something that is legal. It is considered a constitutional right to work as a prostitute. And just so you know, many of these feminists that you keep on complaining about, they're the ones who actually gave them that protection. And the feminists are actually marching again many times. And I'm pretty sure you have not watched the news, read up on the news, or read up on anything that they are marching because they want it to be regulated. If you remember, like I believe a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, when we had the national paro, the national stop, where they basically were rebelling against the government. No, this was before Petro. They were rebelling against the government because they wanted to increase the taxes. And what were people doing? They were literally fighting the cops off the streets. They were fighting SWATs. And they even formed a minga. Do you know what a minga is? A minga, it means a collective, a group of different native indigenous groups that they all come together for the same common goal, a collective. You remember that friend of mine? You remember this friend right here? Okay, she was part of that group, and she marched all the way to the city of Cali, where my father's from. And do you know how many of these people marched together? 14,000. By the time they got there to Cali, and they were going to go all the way to Medellin to scare you passport bros and all these expats who have never even seen war, and they got stopped by the military because Native Americans in South America are not that like the ones in North America. They actually have Kalashnikovs. They actually have guns. They actually have grenades. And you want to know why? Because not only do they fight against the regular government, they will actually fight against the guerrilla forces that hide up in the mountains. You know, those terrorists who are called Marxist communist guerrillas, they fight against them also. So yeah, I don't think you've been following up on what's going on in Colombia. This is how I know that you're not really there to really understand the culture.
Why is prostitution legal in Colombia? Ask your mayor.
Again, that is your false narrative created by an illogical fallacy known as the strawman fallacy. Basically, you're distorting our viewpoint and trying to pass it off as our own. Colombians are not mad at the fact that prostitution exists. We actually see it as a right that they have, that they need to be protected from violence, both national and international, and that they have a right to live and to be equal with everybody else. In fact, like I said, many people actually wanted to be better regulated so they don't have to face any type of discrimination. What you seem to be forgetting is that just because something is considered legitimate by the law, it doesn't mean it's morally acceptable in all situations. What we are angry is knuckleheads coming from other countries and acting up a fool in the wrong situations, showing disgusting things in front of like little kids. Not sure if you saw, but maybe I think it was like maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, some foreigner came and he paid a local woman to be having sex with her on a balcony. What is wrong with you people? Okay, you're not supposed to do it. The Colombian mindset is if you are going to have do things as an adult, you do it in private. This is why we had something called red zones. But because of the fact that you guys keep coming down there, acting up a fool, not knowing how to respect the local culture, people are getting more bold. You're not supposed to do it in front of like little kids. You're not supposed to do it in front of women and families like I've seen passport bros do. You're not supposed to do it out in public. I've been to Colombia many times, especially before the passport bro craze. And I know a lot of people that work in the town center in the walled city. Like I said before, I brought a Samoan friend to a restaurant during like say about afternoon for a burger, and you know what happened? I saw two passport bros with 3 women each came with them, sat outside, and he had the girls twerking. Were the girls wrong for doing that? Yeah. But were the guys even worse for doing that? Yeah, because the thing is that there were little kids walking by, there were women walking by in strollers. The owner of the restaurant was angry. He said, who the heck do these people think they are? Who the heck do they think these foreigners think they can come into our country, pay a few dollars and demean us? Don't you see that there's kids walking around? There's actually a church nearby, because if you go by the wall center, you actually have churches, and guess what? Those churches actually have clergy. I have seen nuns walking around. I have seen priests walking around. Okay, sometimes they'll have religious ceremonies there. But are you guys worried about that? No, you want to have a girl twerking, showing sexual parts, and being disrespectful in certain wrong times of the day. And this is the thing that Colombians are getting angry at. This is why we have tolerance zones. Because like I said before, for the Colombian mindset has always been, if you're going to be an adult and do adult things, fine. Do it in private. Don't act like an idiot.
Ask your officials. Oh, that's right. Because a lot of them are into other things. I won't speak about that. Again, I love the country, but it's another conversation for another day.
Really? Like what? Like what? Like the civil war that we have going on, like the ELN, which is the National Liberation Army, or the FARC, which is the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or the AUC, which is the Auto Defense Forces of Colombia, which are not left wing, by the way, they're right wing. You have the Black Eagles that came from them. You have the Gulf Clan that came from them. You have the Maoist Liberation Movement. In Colombia, the Maoist Liberation Movement include the Colombian Communist Party, the Maoist, and the Popular Liberation Army. Yes, my friends, not only did this start in the 60s, but it also started from another previous civil war that my great-grandparents had left. We have always been in civil war, and you guys don't know about it. So this is, I know passport bros do not know what they're talking about because they do not look into culture. You have the M19, the March of the 19 movement. You talk about the civil war of all these different groups, and then that have plagued our society of corruption and everything else. Really? Go ahead, tell me, because I lived through that. You weren't here during the 80s and the 90s when you had to travel every 3 miles. You had to go to a military stop and you had to show your ID card and you had to show that you are not a guerrilla fighter. Go ahead, tell me.
People here deserve better, and so do you if you're willing to become it. Now, overall, I agree with a lot of things that she said on self-development, which I've said in many of my videos. Said that in many videos, and I think since the 2 years I've been coming to Colombia, it has changed a lot for the worse in how women view us as men. I've experienced it personally. They don't take us seriously, especially brothers for some reason. I know there is a lot of racism in Colombia.
Get this straight. About 2 years ago, and more than 2 years ago, I would literally see passport bros of black color, all right, because passport bros can be white, saying on YouTube, oh man, you need to come down here, man. There's no racism down here, man. And all of a sudden they said there's racism. He said that women look at you different. People look at you different because you guys are acting a bunch of fools and you're on the international lines now. You are on the news. I have friends in Medellin every single day. Yo, brother, I'm telling you, every 3 days, Gringo fell out of a, you know what? Gringo was found. Then this person was found in a garbage can. Then this person was this person was that. Right? And it's always the same group of people. And it's always a male, a man, not a woman, a man. 99% of the situation is always some dude chasing kitty cat. White or black. No, you made it so. You made it so. You made it so. You guys acting like a bunch of clowns. I have met people who are not passport bros, who are travelers. I seen them in Mocoa. Do you know where Mocoa is? It's in Putumayo, which is next to the next to the Colombian border. You guys will never go out there. I have friends who are from La Guajira province, who are in the northern tip. I have friends who are Wayu from the Guajira province, who speak Wayu Naiki, and they're a native indigenous group who are related to the Puerto Rican Taino that were never extinct. Do you guys do ecotourism? Do you guys go to the lake? I forgot the name of the lake where the legend of El Dorado comes from. Have you ever guys seen the pink dolphins in the Amazon? Have you guys been to the tri-border? Have you been to the Afro-Colombian American Festival? You guys are acting like a bunch of fools, and then you're getting mad that we're getting mad that you're acting like a bunch of fools, disrespecting the culture. Come on. What's wrong with you?
Which you can see historically in present day. So they are going to nail the brothers to the wall more than they are when it comes to white boys. As you can see, right? Even though white boys do the same foolishness, they pay for girls. That you see a lot of the foolishness they're doing in Medellin with the girls who are underage.
Again, before you even start with the false accusations, I would like to let you know that before the black passport bros phenomena became a thing, we wanted black people here. We wanted black Americans. You want to know why? Because the white versions of them, we knew exactly what they liked. We knew that they liked little kids. We knew that they came there looking for fetishes. Do you know which group of people that I love seeing going to Colombia? Black women. You want to know why I love black women? Because they actually delve into the culture. They'll actually go to the city of Palenque, which is a city created by ex-slaves who have still speak an old form of Bantu. I love seeing black women go to Colombia because they actually will travel for culture to understand the people.
I planned a street food tour, cooking class, champeta and salsa dancing class, rum and chocolate tasting, visiting Palenque, the first free black town in the Americas, eating every whole fish I could find, island hopping, and so much more.
That was the thing. The thing is that when the other ones from the YouTube guys started coming down and acting up a fool, hitting women, even some of them with little kids, because I can tell you that it has happened also. Don't think it's only a white thing. When we all see, because I keep on telling you, I have friends that work in the tourism industry, and we all know what your tastes are because they see you every single day. Mira, ahí va. Look at him. He's probably a black passport bro from the United States. And he's going to go after the big booty one, the white girl. He's going to go after the white. I told you he will go after the white one. And then they were, mira. There goes that white guy. He's going to go after the young one. He's going to go after the young. Look. I told you, man. That pervert ese, pervertido ese, the sick freak. I bet you he's going to have like little girls in his room at some time today. We all know. So for you to say, excuse you, but for you to falsely acclaim us, to ignore the white people, no. We all know what the white ones do. And we all know that what the black ones do. And the black ones have done the same things that the white ones have done. But there's more propensity for certain people of color, like white ones, to go after younger children. So don't come up to me with that, because we all know. Every time when a black passport bro is seen, they automatically start saying, he's going to go after a white girl. He's going to go after a big booty white one. He's going to go after the Venezuelan. He's going to get scopolamine. We already know. We know what the Arabs do. We know what the Asians do. We know what everybody do. We even know what other Latinos do. Don't come up to me with that, because the people already know. The situation has gotten so bad that even if you are a single male traveler, even me, who I'm a Colombian, if they see me as a single male traveler, they're already stereotyping me. And the only way to escape that stereotype, Run away from the red light areas. Run away from the areas that have prostitutes. Go to the small cities. Go to these towns. Intermingle with other groups, indigenous ones. Go to, there's a lot of places in Colombia you can go to, but you guys go, oh, I've been to Colombia 3 years. I've been in Colombia 4 years. Where you been? Medellin. Okay. Why haven't you been to any other towns? I can name you plenty of towns in the Cauca Valley, but you guys never traveled there. Come on, who are you trying to kid? Who are you trying to kid? And don't throw that oh, well, they're gonna nail the brothers to the wall, but the white people they overlook. No, we know what the white ones do, and we were complaining about the white ones before you came, and we wanted the black ones there. But now people became loud, they became disrespectful, and they start filming themselves hitting women, fighting women, disrespecting them, both Venezuelan and Colombians, and we're getting pretty tired of it. Okay, because I'm not sure how you do things in your home, but you don't be around hitting women. And I actually made a video. In fact, I want everybody to click on this video here, where these passport bros, they go down to the city of Cartagena, they get themselves a nice little white Colombian, most likely from the Paisa region, because most people in Cartagena are African descent, and all four of them, after they were done with her, they didn't want to pay her, and she didn't want to leave. She ended up causing a scene. They dragged her out, almost threw her down the stairway, and the people of Cartagena were upset. And homeboy, you don't want the people get upset, because you may call us machista, but the thing is, we don't allow other people to hit our women, especially if they're foreigners.
All this crazy stuff, right? Don't be fooled. Now, here, my homeboy responded to her message, and I believe he gave a very succinct, detailed, and appropriate response to her original message towards.
That's Rich. He gave us a reply. Okay, I want to know what this is, because I didn't go this far. I originally saw this. I saw about 3 minutes of it. I showed my brother this morning the video. He could barely stomach, and he's more American than I am. He could barely stomach a minute of it. So
a lot of you travelers, you fellas, right? It was a statement to put men who go to Colombia in check. This is what he said back to her. Let's talk about men who come to Colombia, and let's be honest from the jump. You're not talking about men like me. I include myself in that. I'm not here chasing sex or validation. I'm not here to feel powerful. I came here because I am powerful. I've built a business, built a body, built a life of freedom, and I carry that wherever I go. I don't run from problems, I solve them. I didn't come to Colombia looking for escape. I came because I have the freedom to choose where I invest my time, energy, and presence. Absolutely. It's the reverse. I didn't leave America to travel and explore the world because I couldn't explore the country. I did that already. Me personally, I lived in LA for over 10 years. I grew up in South Florida. I've been to New York, been to DC. I've been to the South. I've been to at least 1/3 of the states in the US, right? Traveled across country 2 times. Dated pretty girls in Miami, dated pretty girls in LA, on 8 different shows, and to talk about myself. I'm just saying, me personally.
Ah, yes. The same person who brought your videos like, snow bunnies running wild in this city. Passport bro gets sold a dream by Colombiana pro. How to vet properly. Colombian woman tries to finesse me. And the ever popular are passport bros ruining Santo Domingo.
A lot of it is passport bros.
Bro, those guys, disgusting.
Oh,
and then they go to Europe for looking for these kind of women.
Yeah, or DR. But let me tell you something, passport bros that love to just go get women in DR. You played yourself, because a girl in DR is 18 and she's really 55. No, dead ass. You go over there thinking that you're gonna run into me. Yo, you're not. These girls got game. They've been having games since they were 5.
Pretty
you know
much.
what? At 5, they were 18.
No bullshit.
Dead ass. You know what I mean? Because it's a thing now where guys really go out the country thinking they're gonna groom someone, when in reality, congratulations, you played yourself.
I don't know about you guys. In the gym at least 4 times a week. Come on now. So my homie says, I study the culture, I speak the language, I know the history. I'm not a tourist. I'm a student of the environment I enter. I move with respect and build relationships with real people.
Right, so he's building real relationships with videos like simp-proof advice for passport bros dating in Latin America. 10 commandments men must follow overseas. Yeah, okay.
This is what passport bros travelers need to be on. You brought up Cartagena and economic disparity. Let's talk about it. Yes, the exchange rate is massive. Yes, a single dollar goes far, but let's not confuse spending money with exploitation. Every time I land in a country, I contribute to the ecosystem, drives restaurants, host local businesses, language tours, tutors, personal trainer services, and staff. I do the same thing. Had a Colombian teaching me Spanish for the last year. A lot of you guys said in many of my videos, you need to learn the language. You need to get acclimated over and over and over. He says, I tip well, I pay full price, and I show respect. The men you're referring to, the ones who pay for bodies because they can't earn connection, we both know that's not manhood. That's weakness hiding behind a credit card. Absolutely. Now, that's not to shame any man out there in whatever he's doing, right? I look at it as a perpetual behavior that becomes a cope because you're running away from something. Dennis Sperling said there's no geographical solution to an emotional problem. Again, there's no geographical solution to an emotional problem. He said, but understand this, we are not the same, right? I did not come here because I can't get women back home. I've had them, beautiful, intelligent, ambitious. What I often didn't get was cooperation. RIP to one of the greatest, Kevin Samuels, right? Cooperation. Is she teachable? Femininity, peace. What I didn't find often was women who respect masculine leadership, not resent it. In Colombia, you're not talking to one of them now. You're talking to a man who doesn't need Colombia. I chose it because my standard is global and my mission is bigger than borders. So don't. And the ones who know. So while the boys are out here pretending, men are building, connecting, and leaving places better than we found them. And the women align with that energy. They don't just follow, they choose us.
Okay, so far it sounds like he's talking good. You know, he's saying he's looking for someone that can value him, someone that can stand on his, see him as an equal and everything else and be treated with respect. But one thing he seems to be not showing right now, and I'm not going to fault him for that, is do you understand what you're getting into? Because the thing is, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, you're dating someone of a different culture. If you're going to date a Colombian woman, you're going to have to date her culture. And I know this because I explained this before. You're going to have to date her family. How many of these passport bros do you see them taking pictures with their family? When I started dating my Colombian girlfriend, the first thing that happened to me? The first thing on the first date, introduced me to her grandmother, introduced me to her grandfather, introduced me to her uncles and her cousins and everything else. I must have left 50 people that day. Are you willing to do that? And every day since I dated my ex-girlfriend, I talked to her mom. She became like my second mom. Okay, I took pictures with them. I went out with them. I went to church with them and everything else. Are these passport bros willing to do that? If you date somebody from a paisa from the Coffee Access region, are you willing to go to the parents' house? Are you willing to stay in the finca, a real finca? A finca is a country home, but I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the Medellin country homes where you have a pool and a jacuzzi and made for party. No, I'm talking about a real one with cows, with pigs and everything else. Are you willing to wake up at 4:30 in the morning if the family invites you for a sleepover? Are you willing to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to show your father and future father-in-law or your future girlfriend's father that you are a man that will take care of her? Well, you go and pick coffee beans at 4:30 in the morning that they gotta wake up. Well, you go round out the pigs. Well, you let the cattle go out. Because for some reason, a lot of these passport bros, they say, color's not my thing, but somehow they gravitate towards the light-skinned ones. And when they go to the coast, do you see them hanging out with the family? Do they even know what champeta is? Like, bro, I can name 100 different type of things. I had to be there with the family. I had to introduce myself to the father, who is an Afro-Colombian, who a proud black Colombian man. And he stood up and he crossed his arms and he says, who are you and what do you plan to do with my daughter? If you will not marry her within a year, I want you to leave. Because he's testing me, and I understand the test of a Colombian. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go to Christmas time with them? Are you willing to hang out with the family time with them? See, I'm a Catholic and they're Pentecostal, but if most of them who are Catholics, you will have to go to church with them. And also, if you're Pentecostal, you have to go to church with them. Now, because they weren't Catholic, I wasn't carrying the saints. But if you're Catholic, if your girlfriend is Catholic and you're not, you're going to have to pray the novena. You're going to have to pray the rosary. You're going to have to carry the saints. You're going to have to do this and you're going to have to do that. Okay? And then you're going to have to put up with the family asking you for money and you're not going to say no. Are you willing to do that? I have met all her cousins on both and the father's side and the mother's side. I have done it all. Are you willing to do that? If you're willing to look for a traditional woman in Colombia, can you be a traditional man?
Bailando champeta en Medellín.
que en un bambuco surruqueao y con delicia lo que se quiere se muestra, aunque le duela la envidia. Bambuquito, bambuquero,